Hi, and welcome to the fifth episode in the Silver Lining series, Let's Take Action. Today, we're going to chat about feedback, how to give it, how to receive it, and how to do it all from a place of understanding and compassion. Because I know firsthand that even the word feedback can induce stress, fear, and dread. But before we get into it, I want to make the distinction between feedback and evaluation. We have an annual performance evaluation. An evaluation is a summative assessment tool that judges performance and learning and allows for comparison against a standard. Feedback is a tool that provides information regarding performance and learning and should ideally be given regularly using descriptive, constructive, and non judgmental language. The problem is that in the professional world, we have formalized, institutionalized, and corporatized feedback, which makes it feel scary and uncomfortable. It has become more of a formality than a helpful tool towards growth. We often wait to give feedback until we're in a formal designated setting to share roundings, one on ones, weekly meetings, etc., which is not necessarily a bad thing. But unfortunately, it can oftentimes make feedback feel disingenuous or threatening. But when done the right way, with care and kindness and good intention, feedback conversations can be a really positive and effective tool in creating outstanding employees and team dynamics. As an employee, it is really helpful to know when you're doing well and when you're not doing well. And when you know and trust that both pieces of feedback, both positive and negative, are coming from a good place, it's much easier to be on the receiving end. So, the first thing that can make feedback conversations less difficult, have them more often. Make feedback a regular part of the day. And I do think it is important to note that feedback should not just be given from leader to employee. It should also be given from employee to leader. We have the ability to help each other grow, to make each other better, and to learn from our mistakes in order to evolve as professionals. No matter your title, feedback can be validating and challenging in the best way, but it comes back to trust. It comes back to relationships and the intention behind the feedback. So before giving feedback, I encourage everyone to ask themselves why you're doing it. The purpose of giving feedback is to improve the situation or the person's performance. And you won't accomplish that by being harsh, critical, or offensive. That's not to say feedback always has to be good, but you'll likely be met with understanding and curiosity rather than defensiveness and frustration when your approach is positive, kind, and focused on improvement. So let's start there. Giving feedback. Here are a few things that I believe can help when wanting to give feedback. Make it a regular habit, the good and the bad. You see it, you name it. Be kind in that delivery. Concentrate on the behavior and not the person. Be specific and provide suggestions. And then follow up. Make it a continuous, open ended conversation. Check in with that person. Be there to support. Relationships matter. Work relationships matter. And when you can create an environment that feels supportive and genuine and not judgmental, feedback conversations can feel a lot less heavy. But nevertheless, being on the receiving end of feedback can be the hardest. So I'll say this. We cannot control how feedback is presented or given to us, but we can control how we respond to it. So here are a few things that I believe can help when receiving feedback. The first thing, always take a deep breath. We can be so quick to get defensive or retreat or tune out. Trust me, I know, been there. And that is because feedback can feel threatening and our mind codes it as danger and is like, get me out of here. So take a deep breath. Actively listen, be open, be calm, and reflect with curiosity and not judgment. We all want to do our best and be our best, and there's always room for growth. And when the feedback is great and reaffirming, let yourself sit in that a little longer. Too often do we sit with the negative way longer than the positive. Let yourself have your moment, no matter how big or small. And when you've actively listened and asked for clarification as needed and approached the conversation with a calm and open heart, and you still don't agree with the feedback you're receiving, I like to say, take what you need and leave what you don't. More times than not, there's a piece of that feedback conversation that will resonate, even if the larger message did not. So reflect. What can best serve you when you leave that conversation, and what can you leave behind? Work is hard already, y'all. Feedback doesn't need to be another thing that adds stress or creates resentment. Feedback can and should be a part of day-to-day work life because the point is to be the best we can be and bring that out in each other. So, The silver lining is that we have the ability to change our perspective on feedback. We can choose to see it as a tool for growth and give it and receive it with compassion and understanding. It all boils down to being kind.